Are you ready to rock out with Teaser Talk? A podcast full of music, fashion, humor, and randomness. Here are your hosts, Donna and Holly.
Happy Halloween, teasers. It's Donna and Holly here with another kick-ass episode of Teaser Talk.
We thought it would be a good idea to open up with some Halloween pranks. Now, we're going to follow up with some scary stories, let you decide what's real and what's fake. But first, here are some Halloween pranks that will ensure you have a hilariously horrifying Halloween.
So, first off, we've got here, dress up as though you are an inanimate Halloween decor for your lawn. Example, scarecrow, Frankenstein, etc. Be as still as you can, and when someone walks by, jump out and scare the heck out of them. Another idea is to lay flat on the lawn, pretending to be a grave marked with a tombstone. Imagine their surprise when you rise from the dead.
Ooh, spooky. So here's one that's a little more on the silly side. You're to ring the doorbell and say, canned goods or meat. But don't be offended if you actually get canned good or meat, because, I mean, that's what you're asking for.
Yeah, you get what you ask for, right?
Right.
Okay, this is a good one. Get dressed up, knock on the door. When the person answers, put candy into their bowl.
I'm not really down with that. I want the candy. So here's a good idea for this. You can go through your candy and, like, all the nasty, like, sucky stuff, like pretzels and bullshit like that people give you, that's the stuff you can, like, put back into other people's bowls.
So, just a disclaimer, if you guys are giving out pretzels this year, take that shit back, because nobody wants it.
Nobody wants fucking pretzels, man. Okay, so, this one. Visit a friend's house. Now, make sure it's a friend, otherwise this is, like, borderline illegal probably. So visit a friend's house and write on the mirror with your finger, delivering a scary message such as, I'm watching you. Breathe on the mirror and you can see your words. If you let it dry, the next time your friend takes a shower, the words are going to mysteriously appear once again.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to remember that for the next time I come visit you, Donna.
You can't scare me.
Okay, so here's another one. I don't know why, but this one made me really laugh. Give away fake plastic turds for trees.
Make sure they're fake plastic turds, though.
Yeah,
you can't really give out real turds.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So this one I really like. I honestly think I might do this tomorrow night during Trick or Treat. If I do, I'll definitely document it. But you're going to want to get dressed up so that you're unrecognizable. And then you're going to join a group of trick-or-treaters, preferably some you know, and it will drive them nuts not knowing who you are. Now, again, preferably someone you know, otherwise you're a stalker, and that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so the next one we've got here is decorate your yard with all things superstitious. A ladder, black cat, broken mirrors, crows. Put the number 13 on your door.
I think this one's funny because a lot of people are more afraid of, like, superstitious stuff than actual, like, vampires and ghosts. So that one could be really cool.
Yep, I agree.
So this one's down my alley. You're going to dress up in a hospital gown and walk around at night saying, they think I'm crazy, but I'm not. They can't take me back. Ha ha ha. Let everyone think you're an escaped mental...
I could totally see you doing that when it's not Halloween.
Yeah. Might try that too.
Okay, so we got another one here. It's dress up, ring the doorbell. When someone answers, say, pull my finger.
That's how that's supposed to work, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we saved the best for last. This is definitely my favorite Halloween prank. You're going to toilet paper your own yard, and then you're going to accuse your trick-or-treaters of having done it.
I'm pretty sure you've already decided that you're going to be doing this tomorrow, correct?
This is fabulous. Like, I really am not sure you understand how great of an idea this is. Toilet paper your own yard and accuse other people of doing it. I mean, how would you react to that? If somebody was like, yeah, you goddamn kid, you toilet papered my house. Wait, what?
You goddamn better believe it.
Oh, gosh. All right. So those are some fun pranks. And if anyone is brave enough to do any of these, I'd really like to hear about it, see pictures, videos, especially. I'm going to have to do at least one thing on this list.
Yes, we want to see your picture. So if anybody does this, send it to us on Instagram or Twitter, and we will give you something special.
Ooh, special trick or treat.
Best prize is a surprise.
Yes. So, Holly, are you ready to get into these stories?
I am. I am so excited to share with you guys our collection that we've got here. So we're going to make this a little game out of this. So pull out the good old pencil and pad or whatever to keep track of these. But we have mixed in some fiction stories along with the stories that our listeners have submitted. So we've had some good stories submitted into Teaser Talk, into Donna and I, of real stories that have happened to people. And I just wanted to share, we just want to share this with you guys and have you guess, you know, as you're hearing us say these stories, think in your mind, okay, is this a real story or is this fake? And then we'll see how good you guys did at the end of the episode.
Yeah, so at the end we'll tell you whether the stories are fact or fiction. And if you hear your story, don't worry. At the end, when we announce the real stories, you will get credit for your stories. So stick around. Everybody wants to hear their name on the radio. Ooh, ooh. Okay, so I'm going to start out with our first story, which is Paw Paw the Protector. Okay. So my great-grandfather used to live, I got to start over because I can't read. Okay, Paw Paw the Protector. Okay, so my great-great-grandfather used to love to sit in his rocking chair underneath his grapevine. He loved the cool breeze just blowing the smell of fresh grapes around, and he would just whistle away. Well, when he died, they had the wake at my great-grandfather's house. Back then, the kids and siblings took turns sleeping with the dead until the funeral. Well, we never thought he would come back and haunt his grapevine because he loved everyone, except the ones that seemed to have a mean spirit with them. My mom married this guy that no one in the family liked. So on a nice summer day, David was helping out by cutting the grass. The wind began to blow as he got closer to the grapevine, and he began to hear someone whistle. He thought it was just the wind blowing. As he got closer and closer, the whistle got much louder. He stopped and came in and asked if someone was messing with him outside. We all told him no. We were all inside. He went back out to finish mowing. Then the mower wouldn't start. He came in accusing us of doing something to the mower. We told him that it was Paw Paw, and told him the story. If he doesn't like you, he will haunt you until you leave. He never believed us until he came home one day to find the bed made up, but looked like someone was laying in the bed. I told him it was Paw Paw. Nevertheless, he still didn't believe us. After 3 years of mysterious things happening and the whistling getting louder, the job was finally accomplished. The husband ran off. The bad feeling Paw Paw had about David was true. He beat on my mom, stole money from us, and ended up cheating on my mom and turned into a drug addict. So to this day, if we want to find out if someone is a bad person, we take them to Paw Paw's and let them cut the grass.
Interesting story.
Very interesting.
Or is it not true?
So with this story, I want to know, is the scary story part of this the Paw Paw or the crazy husband?
I'm going to say the crazy husband's definitely scarier than any kind of Paw Paw story, for sure.
Fuck David. He was an asshole.
F you, David, if you're listening to this. Or not. Okay. So the next one we have here is called Lights Off. I went to the bathroom as I was doing my business. My friends thought it was funny to turn the light off, as they knew I wasn't the big fan of darkness. I wasn't the biggest fan of darkness. I finished my business, quickly flushed and washed my hands, but I started to panic. When you start to panic, of course, it's difficult to stay calm and think straight. I couldn't find the lock pad on the door to unlock it, and it was as if it had disappeared. I had shouted to my friends, "Okay, guys, very funny, turn on the light." I told them as I could hear them chuckling. I was panicking. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't find the lock pad on the door to unlock it. In that second, as I turned my head in complete darkness, I saw a vaguely white tarnished dress, and some of it was tortured, some of the most tortured and sad eyes I've ever seen. I couldn't move my body. It had gone overload, and I couldn't know what to do. I was 100% sure it was something in the bathroom. There was something in that bathroom with me in pure darkness. And just as it was coming closer to me, my friends had turned the light on, and I had managed to unlock the door and got out. I pretended to laugh with my friends, and I didn't say anything to them.
Boy, your friends are assholes.
Boy, bye.
Boy, bye. No, they're not my friends anymore.
Yeah, don't get any ideas.
Okay, so the next story is called Woman in the White Dress. When I lived on DuPont Avenue as a child, we had a ghost. I remember sleeping in my mom's bed, and she had a dresser with a mirror at the end, and when I woke up in the middle of the night, I saw a woman wearing a white dress. I think if I remember correctly, we were told there was a family that once lived there, and the husband murdered the wife in the bathtub. But I don't know the truth to that. I just remember seeing the ghostly woman. We always called her Mary, and she was friendly.
I feel like I need a Mary in my house. Like, is this somebody hanging out? You know.
I mean, if Mary cleans, I want a ghost that'll clean my house. That'd be nice.
Okay, so let's see what else we've got here. Sister sighting. I'm pretty sure I saw my sister one night. She died at birth and would have been older than me, so I never got to meet her nor have any idea what she would look like, of course. But one night, a couple years ago, I woke up and saw this young lady, probably in her mid-20s, sitting next to me on my bed. She had long, dark hair that shaped her face. I couldn't actually make out her face. However, I remember when I saw her, I never got scared. I had just had this deep feeling of peace, and I closed my eyes and went back to sleep. The next morning, I woke up and thought about it when I figured it out. It was her. I saw a psychic once, and she told me that she would always be with me.
You know, I've always wanted to go to a psychic, and I tell myself, like, I'm not going to go to a psychic. I don't believe in that shit. But in all actuality, I probably wouldn't go to a psychic because it would really freak me out if they said something that was true.
Yeah, especially when it comes to ghosts and stuff. I'm out.
Okay, so next we have freaky photos. My friend would tell me that her house was haunted, but no one would believe her. She even showed me pictures that she had taken on her phone of herself, and there would be a black figure of a person standing in the corner behind her. I asked her if anyone else in her home had pictures of it, and she replied no, which is why no one believes me. I immediately thought that maybe it was just her phone, so I decided to take a picture of her using mine. I forgot I had it on automatic, which would take 5 pictures at once. Before showing her, I looked at the photos to see if anything came up. In the first photo, it showed a little black cloudy circle in the corner. As I swiped to view the next photos, the blackness grew into the figure of a person. And in each photo, it came closer to the camera. In the last photo, it practically surrounded her, and the color of her eyes changed to black. She asked me if I saw anything. I quickly grabbed my stuff and tried to head out the door. She grabbed my arm and asked, "What's wrong? Where are we going?" I replied, "I can't be here. I have to go." She pondered and then smiled. "You saw it, didn't you? I told you my house is haunted." I brushed her arm off of mine with a frantic look and screamed, "It's not the house that's haunted. It's you." Yeah. Fuck her. She's not my friend anymore either.
Yeah. Unfriending you. maybe possibly blocking Gail at that point.
Yeah. Fuck her. No new friends.
Hashtag no new friends. Okay, so now we've got the Johnsons' maid. I used to babysit a lot. One day, a family, the Johnsons, asked me if I could babysit their 2 children, Claire and Jacob. I gladly said yes. Everything went pretty great while I babysat. Claire and Jacob were 2 wonderful children, and they had played games and watched TV. At 9, when it was time for the kids to go to bed, I sat down on the big comfy couch and read a book that I brought along. At around 9:30, the Johnsons' maid had arrived from the supermarket and had asked me to tell the Johnsons that she was home. Around 10:30, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson had called to see how everything was going. I said that everything was perfect. Right before I had hung up, I had said, "Oh, by the way, that your maid has arrived. She told me to tell you that she was home." After a long second, Mr. Johnson had answered, "Jamie, get Jacob and Claire out of their room and get out of the house now. The police will be there soon." My reply was, okay, but why? "Jamie, we don't have a maid."
Oh, shit. Ew, that one kind of gave me chills. I don't like it.
Oh.
People are creepier than ghosts and goblins. Like,
For real.
oh yeah, I'm not down with it.
Mm-mm.
All right, so happily ever never. A woman in white was murdered by her groom-to-be. A guy was wrongfully hanged, etc. It's said that if you drive up and down, it's never the same distance. People have all sorts of odd stories. We went one night with a freshly washed car for evidence purposes and parked on the road. After about 20 to 25 minutes of nothing showing itself or anything crazy happening, we said we'd leave in a little bit. Shortly after, there was a heavy knocking underneath my friend's car, and we all were so mortified we didn't move or speak for minutes. Then the knocking came again, big enough to shake the car, even though we were all still. We sped out of there so fast, kicking up dust. There were no signs of animals or people, living or dead, outside of the car. When we got back to the house, there were handprints and smudges in the dust from the dirt road, bigger than any of our hands, and low on the car right behind the wheel on the front passenger side and all along the bottom of the passenger side door.
Nope. Big cup of nope.
Nope.
Nope. Not today, boo-boo. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Adam's instructions. When my daughter was 2, I found her twirling paper towel tubes tied with twine in the air. I asked her what she was doing. She said she was practicing her nunchucks. I was very confused as she'd have no way of knowing what they were. I asked her what she meant, and she said that Adam had told her how to make them, and he showed her how to use them. She went on to say that Adam told her to practice because she may need to know how to defend herself someday. I almost freaked out, but I asked her what Adam looked like. She said he was tall, blonde, and had blue eyes. She said, "Mommy, you should know what he looks like. You know him. He died of a headache." I had to leave the room. You see, 4 months before she was born, my tall, blonde, blue-eyed martial arts pro friend had died of a brain aneurysm at the age of 27. She had not spoken of him since that day, so I'm not sure if I scared her away with my reaction or if she had completed her lessons.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, super creepy.
So next we have the Pearl Harbor storyteller. I had a friend in Hawaii whose toddler, who wouldn't have ever known anything about Pearl Harbor or the wars, told her about her friend. I forget what she said the ghost guy's name was, but she asked her mom about the war, asked why people were hurt, a whole bunch of questions. Stuff she talked about with her friend, the Pearl Harbor ghost, but stuff a normal toddler would have never known about. The kid would just stop on the steps sometimes or in her room and listen to her friend. My friend even Googled the guy, and he was a casualty of Pearl Harbor, real as ever.
What's up with all these creepy kids?
Kids are so creepy.
Super creepy.
Yikes.
All right. So we've got the Hilltop Ghost. When I was around 6 years old, I was at my granny's house playing with my toys. I heard a knock at her door and looked up to see a shadow resembling a cowboy's figure walk across the porch. I ran to tell my granny what I had seen, and her reply was, "Oh, it's just a hilltop ghost. He looks out for us. Don't be scared." She had a ghostly figure who would be seen around her property dressed in old-school cowboy clothes. Creepy.
That is creepy. How is she going to say, don't be scared?
Yeah. Like, don't be
It's a
scared.
ghost. It's a ghost.
Don't be scared. It's just a ghost.
Ugh. Granny, you crazy. Okay, so another life. I've been having vivid dreams lately. Not the ones that felt like I'm flying or being chased by a monster or anything. It felt like I was living someone's life. At first, it lasted only a few seconds. Then it progressed into hours, days. Soon enough, it turned into years. There were times I woke up screaming, confusing people around me because I thought I was the person in the dream. Each one was different than the last. One time, I'm a regular old dad with 2 kids. Another, I was a drunk living in a dump of an apartment. I talked to a therapist about it. He thought it was a short-term memory loss, or me reliving a past life, or that kind of shit. But I know it's not a past life, and I know the people in my dreams are real. I tried to look up the people in my dreams, tried to find out who they were. I only find obituaries.
Ugh.
That's almost as cool as it is creepy, though, to be honest.
I don't know. It sounds like an episode of a TV show.
It really does.
Okay, so we've got Ring My Bell. My mom's Aunt Frankie was a really artsy atheist and into all kinds of weird, dark art stuff. When she died, she left Granny paintings and artifacts and weird devil-looking stuff. Mom brought one of her paintings home, and weird stuff started happening. We stayed one weekend at the Wells Inn in Oh, sorry, how do you say that, Tal? I'm going to have to go back and restart this.
Sistersville.
I wanted to say scissors. That's what started cracking me up.
Perv.
Okay, retake. Okay, next we have up is Ring My Bell. My mom's Aunt Frankie was a really artsy atheist and into all kinds of weird dark art and stuff. When she died, she left Granny paintings and artifacts and weird devil-looking stuff. Mom brought one of her paintings home, and weird stuff started happening. One weekend, we stayed at the Wells Inn, and it was said to be haunted. Mom had brought a little glass bell there and brought it home. The bell would ring in the middle of the night. She had it on top of the piano, and she would find it on the floor all the way across the room, but it never broke. Mom talked to the pastor about it, and he said that she had invited spirits into her home and to pray and cast them out and to get rid of objects. Mom and Chippy and some women were at the house, and they had prayed and did all kinds of crazy stuff and took the painting in the backyard and burned it. The whole time while it was burning, the dog was freaking out and growling and running around. The next day, the dog was so sick it couldn't move, and she had took it to the vet where they said it had a brain tumor and had to be put to sleep. Mom said the evil spirits went into the dog to make it sick. All the weird stuff stopped happening after that. Yeah, that's sad. Poor little puppy.
Right? Why'd you have to bring the dog into it?
That's assed out.
Man,
oh man. Okay, this next one is called Lights Out. When we were growing up, my 2 sisters shared a bedroom. One night, my mom and my sister were watching TV, and directly down the hallway was my sister's bedrooms that they shared together. It was late at night, and my mom had noticed the light was on, so she had told my sister to go turn the lights off. Not paying too much attention to my sister, she was still watching TV, and then just to look back up and notice that the lights were back on again. So, of course, she told my sister again, go turn the lights off. My sister argued and said, Mom, I did turn them off. Well, my mom didn't believe her, obviously, and said, go turn them off. I'm watching you. So she watched her go all the way down the hallway to turn the lights off. my sister turned off the lights and started walking back down the hallway. As my mom was watching her, the light turned back on, the door slammed shut, opened it up again, and slammed shut again. My sister was pretty scared, to say the least, and she took off running down the hallway. My mom looked at her, giggling, and said, "I guess I can't talk you into turning that light back off, can I?" So my mom walked down the hallway, turned the lights off, opened the door, and then she had said, "Now leave them off." And the lights remained off for the rest of the night.
Boo!
Boo!
Frick as shit.
Okay, so let's see how you guys did. Let's see if you got true or false.
Boo! All right. So, should we do this like an episode of Maury? Like, in the case of the Pawpaw Protector.
We should. Yes, let's do that.
In the case of Pawpaw the Protector, the lie detector test proved that this story is real, and it was submitted by Weakness for Tattoos on Instagram. So thanks for that story, and
if we need somebody to be judged, we're going to send them over to your Pawpaw's house to cut the grass.
Darn right. And I want to know where you're from, Weakness for Tattoos, because here in West Virginia, I thought we were the only folks that called our grandpas Pawpaw.
Okay, so the next one, in the case of Lights Off, the lie detector proved that story was false.
So, the woman in the white dress, the kind ghost Mary, who's going to come clean my house, that was, in fact, a true story that was submitted by Megan Gillespie. I actually lived on DuPont Avenue at the same time that she did, so that's how I know Megan. And Mary never came to my house. I guess she was just cozy at Megan's house.
Okay, so next up, the sister sighting. That was a true story submitted in by Kayla Oldham.
It was. That's a cool story.
That's very cool.
It's creepy, but it's not really like super creepy, because as she said, she had a feeling of peace. So it was kind of cool. She got to see her sister.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Okay, so freaky photos. That is thankfully not fact. Pretty sure if I took a picture of my friend and ended up with a big creepy ghost in my face, I would be quite traumatized. So I am glad to know I won't have to experience that.
Yeah, you and me both. Okay, the next up is Johnson's maid. That was a whole lot of false, you guys. That was not true.
Good. That's creepy, too. I mean, I wonder. I feel like that maybe has happened somewhere in life. Like,
not to me, thankfully.
Somebody faking being the maid?
Yeah, I feel like it's criminal. Like, that's just, like, stalker. Like, oh, I finally got in your house. But I don't think it's ghostly. I can see it being criminal.
Okay, so the story Happily Ever Never, that was the story about the handprints on the car, and that story was fact, and it was submitted on Facebook by a friend of mine named Shayla, and I think something that I failed to mention when reading this story, she had said that you could never drive up and down in the same distance, and they said that after that experience, so they were so spooked the first time they were there by the banging on the car that they didn't check the speedometer, the mileage to make sure that the distance was the same. But she said they did go back later and a few times actually and never did go the same distance on that road. So that's something really cool that I would love to try.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Ooh, so I guess you're not coming with me?
I might, but I'm scared.
Yeah. We'll bring the Depends so you don't pee in my car.
That's, I don't know. I can't promise anything. Okay, so next up was Adam's instructions, which was false. That is not a true story.
Good. It was creepy.
Yeah, it was.
Ugh. So the Pearl Harbor Storyteller. This is actually another story that was submitted by Shayla. Shayla, you got some creepy shit going on, girl. But it was also a story about a creepy little child, but this one was true.
Yeah, that is creepy. Especially when it comes to like war stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one, the Hilltop Ghost, that is actually true. It actually happened to me. And growing up, we would always hear like all these different stories about the Hilltop Ghost. So shout out to Granny and the Hilltop Ghost there.
Hey, Granny. All right, so Another Life. This is a story about all the creepy, vivid dreams. Thankfully, it is false, because that's creepy as fuck. It's not real. It's just a very good storyteller.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though, if you think about it. Okay, Ring My Bell. This was the one regarding the Aunt Frankie who was the really artsy atheist, and that one is actually true.
It is. It is a true story that actually my Uncle Jeff sent to me. As I read it, I started getting a little creeped out because I don't have a bell. I don't think I have a bell that was given to me by my Nana, but I do have some little tea sets that were given to me by my Granny James, who was actually Aunt Frankie in the story was Granny James's sister. So I do have some things that Granny James gave me, and hopefully they're not creepily possessed because I love my dogs.
He said I love my dogs. Yeah, that like you sent me that message when we were collecting these stories, and I was like, holy fuck. I think it was like that's one thing I could get out. Like that was just crazy.
It was very crazy. So we want to know how many you guys got right.
Oh, wait, we have the last one we added.
Oh, I forgot about it.
The lights off.
Ah.
Yes, so lights off. That was actually added last minute by my mom. She was obviously my mom in the story. So that is true. And I was actually sleeping on my mom's lap when all that crazy stuff happened. So, yeah, creepy.
That is creepy, but I love how ballsy your mom is, that she's just going to, like, stomp in there and tell that ghost what's up. Like, listen, I know you were, like, some invisible, like, entity, but you're not going to fucking turn that light on again, okay? You ain't paying the electric bill. You're going to leave that light off.
And for those who know my mom, she is, like, she's a bulldog. It's funny shit.
Yes. So I hope you all enjoyed these stories, fact and fiction. We want to know how you did. Let us know. Did you spot the fakes? And do you believe the real stories?
And what was your favorite one? Which one creeped you out the most that was real? I'd like to hear that.
I think the one about the jiu-jitsu fighter or the martial arts fighter creeped me out the most. So I'm glad to know that it wasn't true.
Yeah, you know, I think your Aunt Frankie stories, I'm pretty sure that one's that creeped me out. Just because on the devil and all this crazy stuff.
Leave it to my family to be the ultimate creepy. Just saying. And if you're listening, Uncle Jeff, that is a compliment. I love my creepy.
I do too. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and you do not want to miss next week. We have something special in store for you guys. Donna's mom will be back on our podcast, and for those who have already seen it, she was in our mini episode of the homeless guy or rock star episodes, and if you did miss it, you guys got to go back on teasertalk.com to watch it, where we had her mom guess, obviously, if it was a homeless guy or a rock star, and it was just funny to see her do that. But anyways, she will be back on to play another guessing game of either porn soundtrack or 80s rock jam, and I cannot wait for this.
And I'm really hoping she's not super good at this game. I'm going to be pretty uncomfortable if she is.
Although she did make a comment when I was down there that she was pretty confident that she can tell the difference between the two. So
yeah, she was also pretty confident about the rock stars and homeless people, and she definitely thought Rob Zombie was homeless. So there's that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much again. And if you guys have any questions, want us to cover anything, interview anybody in particular, whatever, reach out to us on Twitter. Our handle is @talk_2_teaser, or my favorite is Instagram, and our handle is just @teasertalk.
All right, guys, so we hope to see you next week for Teaser Tuesdays. Don't miss a single one.
Thank you for listening to Teaser Talk. For topic requests and to connect with the hosts, follow @talk_2_teaser on Twitter. Keep rocking.